Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. I will use the microphone because I don't speak so loud. Sorry for that. Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure for me being here. Well, I will change a little bit conversation because now I will talk about the energy transition in Mexico, not just regional thing, but I will change a little bit. Because in Mexico, we have a very particular situation. On 2012, we were part of, I was the version of being part of the legal advisor of energy reform. And when we there's no English, there's no problem. When we define what to do, one of the biggest challenge was which mechanism which we have to implement in order to integrate more renewable and clean energy into the grid. Because Mexico has a very huge potential of renewables, mainly solar and also wind and geothermal and hydro, in order to be a hub for Latin America for getting renewables and for helping all the system. The problem was that we didn't have a correct policy because previously to the reform of 2012, Mexico was the private sector was restricted to participate on generating electricity and also oil and gas. So we made a very strong reform, and I will center on electricity at this point. So we decided to create a mechanism that was the clean energy certificate mechanism. That is similar to the regs that in Europe we have, and in states, in Texas and California and other states, they have similar instruments. But we made a research, very strong research on what's going to help in Mexico. But we have one difference. In Mexico, the policy said, the Ministry of Energy said, I was working at the Energy Regulatory Commission, and they told us that nuclear has to be included as a clean energy source. We were very questioned about this decision, policy decision in Mexico, because not in all the world is said that. So we studied a lot. We had a lot of interviews with regulators of other parts of the world, from the States, from Romania, Spain, from UK as well. I know that in UK you don't have anymore these rates. Now you have the contractor by differences. But we analyzed what was acceptable for Mexico, and we create a very strong mechanism that are the clean energy certificates. I will talk about mechanisms, and then after that, I will talk a little bit about ESG and its evolution in Mexico and what to expect on the energy policy, because 2 days ago we changed government. We have the first woman president in Mexico. So I hope I don't bore you. Okay. Sorry. Well, this slide I put the energy that I consider clean energy. Sorry, I wasn't stating I can do the English version. So about that. In our legislation, we consider clean energy such sources, energy sources and electricity generation processes whose emissions always, if any, do not exceed the thresholds established in the regulatory conditions issued for solar products. We include solar, wind, geothermal, hydro, also nuclear, as I told you, hydrogen, and also we include capture and storage of CO2, and also other technologies if their emissions are not passing the threshold, with the exception of natural gas. Next slide, please. Okay, this is our national matrix, and it reflects that we are not having the most advantages of our location, because in our matrix, just currently the 26% of our generation comes from clean energy sources. Even for this year, we have to apply 35% of clean energy integration to the grid as a national grid. Next slide, please. Okay, we have this target that were set in the energy reform in 2012. By 2024, Mexico needs to comply, as I told you, with the 35% target on clean energy in order to fulfill its international GHG reduction pledge. Mexico has also set clean energy power generation target for 2015. The aim is to reach share as much as 40% in power generation from zero or low emission energy types by 2035 and 50% by 2050. I'm not sure we're gonna allocate or achieve this goal because on 2018, when the last government that ended this week and first into, they changed all the regulatory framework that was approved with the energy reform. We were advancing in integrating energy sources in our metrics, in our energy metrics, and then the government stopped private investment on this in order to strengthen the national entity outside company, the Federal Electricity Commission, against private sector. That was the main problem that we faced and we are facing in this moment. Okay. But returning to our targets, that's why we are not achieving our target. But for complying with the first target after the energy reform, the clean energy certificates were created and they're still in effect as the main tool for deployment of renewables. Can we change the next slide, please? How was designed the sub mechanism? Okay, first of all, we put a target on the consumption as a different scheme that in the European Union and in the States. We do not charge the generators on having a renewable portfolio. We think that everyone is responsible of consuming clean energy. So as a consequence of that, everyone has to comply with these obligations. But for example, in our places, we are going to comply 2 hours later later. And all the suppliers have to comply with that targets. In order to comply with that target, the generators will be compensated with one certificate for every megawatt hour that they incorporate into the grid. So we define the energy certificate sold by its acronym in Spanish, like the title issued by the Energy Regulatory Commission that certifies the production of a determined amount of electric energy from clean energy sources and serves to comply with the requirements associated with the consumption of load centers. Well, one of the mandates for the electricity sector derived from the energy reforms to achieve those goals and also reduce emission reductions. It's very important to say that even for this mechanism of the clean energy certificate helps to achieve national emission reduction goal, is not the main purpose of this mechanism. Because sometimes in Mexico we're in the Europe and the States a lot. Because we are just in the pilot phase of our emission trading system. And in this pilot phase, it is applicable for the energy sector because according to our national program on climate change, the second emissions of the second producer of emissions, the second sector, of producing emissions in Mexico is the oil and gas and electricity sector. So that's why they are obligated to comply with emission reductions at the first stage of this mechanism. Because the first is transportation, but it's very complicated in a large city like Mexico City to have a registry of correct registry of emissions. So we are working on making that possible. Well, so some people ask as a regulator, do I use certificates for complying with my emission reductions obligations? No, because we are trying, with this mechanism, we try to avoid double accountability, and also this is not the main objective of this mechanism. This is to integrate clean energy into the grid, even though we are helping to reduce GHG emissions. Okay, who are participating in this mechanism? Well, we have from this right side to the left, the Ministry of Energy, that is Spanish is SENER, Secretaría de Energía, that fixed an annual requirement for acquisition of certificates. Then we have the ISO, that is the Centro Nacional de Control de Energía, the independent system operator. And we have the Energy Regulatory Commission, that is the one responsible for regulating, administrating the system, the tracking system, and is the entity that is responsible for verifying compliance obligations. And who are the obligated parties? As I said previously, the obligated parties are the consumers. And according to our law, sorry for it's in Spanish, I didn't have enough time for definition, I'm very sorry to have. There are the suppliers, the qualified users, participants of the market, the electricity market, the final users that are supplied in an insulated basis, and the owners of the legacy contracts. What is a legacy contract according to our law? These are the previous contracts that were in effect previously to the reform, and which electricity is not produced by a clean energy source. So these are the obligated participants. And who is benefiting with this mechanism? The clean generators. Because for every megawatt hour they incorporate into the grid, they will receive certificate. And also, if you have a new place panels, solar panels, you can obtain, once you get 1 megawatt hour, a certificate. But you have to be represented in the market by a supplier. Because it's very expensive for you as the person of a particular to participate in market by yourself. And the next slide. Okay, this is our target. Well, as I said, we have national targets of clean energy. So in 2018, we have to achieve a national goal of 25%. I have to say that when we created the reform, we didn't start to account the energy from zero. We take into consideration all the clean energy that was incorporated by CFE, the owner state company previously, the reform like hydro, wind or solar plants, and also the self-supply contracts that were generating with clean energy sources. So that's why we put, since the beginning, a very high percentage, not zero. So when the reform was arise, we have like 20% of clean energy integrated into the grid. So by 2021, we have to incorporate 30% of clean energy, 2024, 35% energy. I'm sorry to say that we are not achieving the goal. Sorry for that. And I will explain later on this is a consequence of a regulatory decision of the government. 2030, by 2030, we have to achieve 37.7% of clean energy introduced into the grid, and by 2050, 50%. And at this point, at 2050, we are going to match our national target of emission reduction. At this point, both mechanisms have to intersect and have to be compliant with in the same percentage. So the national clean goal is translated into individual obligations. How is that? In the first quarter of the calendar year, the Ministry of Energy will establish a requirement for the acquisition of certificates 3 years in advance. For example, for the first year of compliance of this mechanism, that was in 2018, 3 years in advance, they fix that 5% has to come from a clean energy source. If it's not possible, you have to buy certificate in order to comply with the tracking system to compensate that lack of clean energy. In 2019, 5.8, in 2020, 7.4, in 2021, 10.9% of energy has come from clean energy sources, and in 2022-23, 13.9. This year, they haven't published a requirement. That's a shame, but the Ministry of Energy didn't publish anything. The grid tries to duplicate this number, but legally, is not binding because they don't have the power to do so. So even though the authority, the energy authorities are saying you have to comply as well with 30.9%, this is not legal binding because they don't have power to do so. Next slide, please. So we create sorry for this in Spanish, I will explain it in English for that. The tracking system that we name like management system of certificates and compliance of obligations on clean energy is the cell by its acronym in Spanish, Sistema de Gestión de Certificados y Cumplimiento de Obligaciones de Energía Limpia. This is the way the participants of the market and the obligated parties are reporting to the Energy Regulatory Commission the certificates, and also the Energy Regulatory Commission is giving the certificates through this mechanism. Nobody, neither the commissioners or any part of the commission, can put it manual. It's automatically designed, the tracking system, in order not to have any corruption problems, or I have to say, or any mistake. Because once the obligated party put the information of generation in the tracking system, the ISO also put the information, and there is a double verification. Then the system issues certificate. It's very important because when we were designing this mechanism, I was the responsible director of clean energy. Some of the former commissioners said, "Oh, we will make some business on this," and I said, "No, sir, we cannot do that. I'm a lawyer, and I'm very sorry for that. Even if I get fired, I cannot do that because it's very important to be healthy, you know." I had a lot of problems, I have to say, with some of the former commissioners. That's why I'm not in the commission anymore. Yeah, I have to say. But when we created the mechanism, it was very funny because the government told me, "Okay, you have to create the mechanism. You have this budget, zero pesos, $0, 0 euros, 0. So I get some technical advice and some money from the international cooperation with the United States. We work very closely with them, and they provided resources. So we have a very basic platform, but it's still working. I have to say that is a shame that in our country sometimes it's different than Europe. We don't have enough support, even though we are in the world. Just 5 minutes, 2 minutes, I will complete. Next slide, please. Sorry for that. No, I will skip this. Well, this is all for clean energy. I want to talk very briefly, sorry for the delay, about our current situation. During this administration, I will provide slides for everyone, and I will be very short. There were a lot of obstacles for private sector, but we hopefully think, and we are aiming, we have the hope that it will change with the new president, Carlos She's a doctor, doctor of energy. She's a scientist. I personally know her because she is a lecturer at the university. So I think we'll be coming in. And she also, next slide, please. Yeah, I don't know that's very helpful. Oh, she promised yesterday that she took position that she will make some reforms in order to guarantee a public-private participation in the energy sector. And also, she promised to integrate environmental policy with energy policy. Because in Mexico, not all policies are integrated. And I think that not just in Mexico, but all around the world, we have to integrate policies. Energy policies with economic policies, with environmental policies, and with all the national policy in order to achieve environmental goals and environmental justice. Well, thank you for your attention, and I hope I don't. Thank you very much.